Hey everybody, Edo here, and I am super excited today because I am going to announce the winners of the Stuck at Home Design Contest 2021. And there were an awesome 36 entries to the contest. All of them are still available. I'll link the Google Drive links in the description. I really suggest everyone check them out. Ultimately, you basically are getting my opinion. I mean, I'm the one who reviewed everything and took a look at the titles, but it's super subjective. All of them were interesting. Many of them were great. Some of them were problematic, but I think it's such an explosion of design and ideas that going through it is great. We did the videos for this one, the pitches, and the sell sheets, so it's pretty quick to get an idea of what these games were, and I really suggest you do. It wasn't just for my praise, but the contest had prizes. It was so there's a prize for best video, best sell sheet, best one-player game, best two-player game, best 3 to 5 player games, and anyone could submit to any category. So there might be a game that supported more players, but it was submitted to one category. And those first place prizes were $250 each. And then there was an additional $50 special prize. I did one per category for whatever reason I wanted, and you'll see. And these prizes were sponsored by Pencil First Games. Woohoo, Pencil First Games. Pencil First Games is the company I own, but nevertheless, wanted to mention that. And certainly mention, check out all of our titles. Herbaceous Pocket Edition, Skull Hollow, Heroes Welcome, all that good stuff. Sunset Over Water. Anyway, lots of stuff. But anyway, I want to get straight to it. And so again, main winner, somebody who did something interesting that I thought was noteworthy for whatever reason. And let's dive in. So, for video, my special $50... Oh, and winners don't know. They're going to learn now. I'm going to do this video, post it, and then on Friday or this weekend, I'll reach out to everyone directly, ask you for your PayPal information or whatever to get you paid. Anyway, so let's get into it. So, video. So, the $50 prize goes to Best Video Without Narration. So, once a video had various quality narrations, I think there might have been a couple that didn't have narrative over them or whatever. Narrative, VO. But there was one title, Knock 'em Dead, which was just music over the guy showing the game, or gal, I don't know, showing the game, and text on screen. And it's a game where you're playing as archers and you're fighting enemies, and it's a dice flicking game, and there's dice on the cards you're trying to score. I thought the video was great. Like, I was like, I want to play this game. I understand how to play. I didn't need words. So that one stood out to me when I was thinking about this. So congratulations. I don't know if I'm going to do that on everyone. All right. But the winner, right? So this is the best video, right? Not playing the game, video, was Pocket Park. So this, the video comes on. It has a great hook. It's clear. It's on track. It talks to the audience. It expresses the game. It sticks to the brief on the timeline. There were some long videos, didn't stick to the brief. And it really stood out to me. Were there other great videos? Absolutely. But in terms of a video that I felt hooked me, clearly communicated to me the game in a way that made me want to play, in a way that made me understand what was going to be going on, I thought it was great. Pocket Park is also a fun game, which is a flip and write, where you're adding polyominoes to create a park, and everyone's creating a park, and you're writing in the polyominoes, and you're doing set collection and majority stuff with it, and you're creating a park. You're like, you've been hired to create a park. And I like the theme too, but I thought it really was a very cleanly and nicely executed video. A little noisy, a little too many effects. Like, I don't know, it didn't need to have all that, but it had all the parts, which is why I liked it. Okay, so, congratulations. Next up is we have Best Sell Sheet. This was harder. There were lots of good sell sheets. One thing, okay, so the $50 prize is notable hook. So, everyone's like trying to convince you to do it. But the notable hook was Unwanted, which was is a card game where you're, it's an interesting game with, I have my notes, right? It's a grid of 3x3 grid of heroes. There's only a few of them, but you draft by picking a row or column, and I pick one, you pick one, and I get the dregs. And so it plays pretty quick. It's easy to play, but it has a darker theme. But one of the bullet sections was easy production. It's an easy production, 54 cards, language independent, 6 pieces of art. You're done. A 1-page rule or something like that. I think it was more than 1 page. But anyway, minor little thing, but for me as a publisher, I was like, oh. It made me like double consider it. Not that these were submissions for consideration, but like I was like, maybe I could fit this in. Like of all the different things, I like that way more, mind you, than everyone chucking their components. I don't think a sell sheet needs components. Like maybe, perhaps, but like when your sell sheet is half your components, who cares, right? Like as a publisher, do I really care? I mean, I don't mind knowing, but that's not like if you're taking any significant amount of your sell sheet to tell, unless the components are great, it's just like that is not how I judge what game I'm going to make. And there were a lot of people who did that, who just too much components. Also, just while we're on the topic, like too much text and like just paragraphs after paragraphs, like bullet. Like it's a sell sheet. It's not your rule book, right? And that's actually true for videos. There were a lot of videos which was just teaching me how to play your game. I appreciate how to play. It did help, but that wasn't really a pitch video. Okay. All right. Anyway, so that was the notable mention and a cool game. It is an interesting drafting mechanic. But the winner, and this is for the best sell sheet, is Heist. And I thought about it a lot because actually Heist has the sell sheet has just photographs of the game being played, but it basically has gameplay hook A, gameplay hook B, gameplay hook C over images of those hooks. And I was like, oh, I get it. So it really solved that. Art at the top, a couple other bullets on the bottom. But like, as I'm picking things up, it really was like, I get this game, I get the appeal of this game, I can imagine this game, and I want to play this game. And I thought that was really, really well done. Again, there were so many, some of which were gorgeous, some of which were clear. But, I went through again and again, and I, would pick the ones that like, it's like, okay, cool, okay, and then I scrubbed it, and that's where I landed. So congratulations to Heist. You've won $250. And by the way, dice rolling games where you're breaking out you're in a jewelry store and you're drawing your paths to get to the containers. Cool mechanic, I dug as well. So it's a neat game, worth checking out. But the sell sheet grabbed me. Okay, moving on to best for one player game. So this is the $50 award, and so this one is best theme / execution, theme and execution of theme, and for the Cursed Castle. So if the Cursed Castle was created during the duration of this contest, I'm really impressed. The Cursed Castle is a dice placement and manipulation game where you're going through a castle and revealing units, and you're you're attacking all the different units, and it's like very dark. The Cursed Castle, like dark fantasy, but the art, like theme, character, fictional writing in there. The video, the sell sheet was like the complete package of like an extremely well thought out game. It's like and worth checking out, absolutely worth checking out. For me, it's just like way too heavy for what I was looking for in a solo experience. That isn't to say other people aren't, like those solo games, like I play those a lot. Like Unbroken reminds me, there's a lot of them. And like it's super interesting in that regard. But like for this contest, I really wanted something you could just sort of print and play, and that was like too much for me. But I'm saying all this because absolutely worth checking out, and you know, a very strong title. It didn't win, but it really stood out in terms of like this is really far along, and really cohesive in what they're trying to do. So that was The Cursed Castle. The winner for solo, one player though, is City Planner. City Planner is a really simple single sheet printout where it's like a hex grid where you're moving out and making bus stops and going to different locations to generate money to make more bus stops and stopping at parks and landmarks. This is actually supports more than one player, but it was submitted into the single player. And I dug it. It isn't perfect. It's a little dry, but you know, it was sort of most into the zone of like what I think of when I want to pick up a solo game personally. Like what solo games, I'm talking about me playing, right? And it's just like, especially for a print and play, you know, that's the kind of thing where you can print it, couple dice, play it, make some interesting decisions, have some fun. Like, and so you know, I definitely there were other light ones too. I do think folks should check out them all. But for me, that's the one that stood out. So congratulations, City Planner. Very simple, not a whole lot of art. Okay, sorry, I'm just going through my notes here. I printed the cell sheets of these things. Okay. Final, 2-player and 3 to 5. So, now we're on to 2-player games. So, the $50 prize on the 2-player games is sort of calling it Fun Idea. The floor is lava award, but the game is Keep Moving. And in Keep Moving, you have like a line of cards that are flipping between like levels of destruction and lava, and your meeples using dice to like try to not get burnt, right? And so you're like moving around and you're trying to take spots away from. Very like has a very good video gamey feel to it, and it's very head to head in a fun way. And I just the art's a little heavy-handed in terms of the graphic design and the font use. Not quite Comic Sans, but anyway, but close. But I thought it stood out to me in terms of like I was like intrigued by it and wanted to check it out, and I like the idea of like everyone's trying not to fall into the lava, and I thought it was interesting. So that is Keep Moving, which is I mean also maybe title. I mean it's evocative of what you're trying to do in that game. The winner though, for 2 players is Terka Dansa, Dansa, right? Terka Dansa, right? And Terka Dansa it's like, I mean, the graphic art is like the pigs from Sing, the characters from the cartoon movie. But what you're doing, this is a 2-player game where there's a 3x3 grid on the ground, and you are doing dance moves around each other in that grid, and you're moving. And you're trying not to hit each other. The upload was missing the opposing player deck. I believe we used it with the same one, so there may be some nuances there. And it's not perfect. It needs some more development. But the simple process of the moving around and dancing, or whatever it's not dancing, the moving around. I thought I totally dig it. I'd like this is the game. I want them to take $250, improve it, do some additional development, figure out how to make it have more replayability. But it was unexpected. It made me smile, and it's the kind of game you're like, it's got that Happy Salmon, whatever I think that's the name of the game, Slap It Salmon, Happy Salmon, whatever kind of vibe to it, where you're like, hey, you want to play this game? Well, let's go stand up. And I dug it. I dug that. There are a number of really strong and interesting two-player games, but like as I was going through, I just couldn't. I could put the game down, but I couldn't. It stood atop. So again, and in particular in this category, because I feel like this is the hook is so fun and so strong that it sort of drove through all of the rest of it, and again, the game could use a little more for sure. I definitely think there are a lot of fun and interesting games that are doing some cool things in the two-player for sure. But I mean, seriously though, super cool. Love the. It's only like one piece of art or like one character drawn, but very very cute, very enticing, very sing. But the idea of it is like yes, and such a con game for when cons happen again. So that was congratulations, the 250 for two-player game. Final category, and thank you for your patience. Is 3 to 5 players, and so the $50 prize was like mind-breaking puzzle game. There were a couple in here that were like, but it's the Mondrian Experience, and I said that right? Mondrian. Yeah, the Mondrian Experience, which is Mondrian style art, which is, I'm going to call it modernist style, but modernist, but like it's it's a tile laying game where you have these tiles of this art, which is it's the art that's like grids of different size squares with different colors in it, right? Like just bold, yellow, blue, but like really a lot of lines. And so you have these tiles that have all these lines, and it's one of those games where you're just trying to line up tiles, and you can only line when they're matching it, but the things are so small, and you're building this thing out in front of you, and it's just getting more and more complicated, and you're just like, like it may have hurt me, but looks great. It's a cool idea. It is fun, but and it stood out, and I remembered it. So $50 prize. Check it out. Go into the thing and check it out. You get a kick out of it. You'll just look at it and be like, oh my god. Okay, so the winner of 3 to 5 player, and again, lots of great games, different pieces, was Calling All Adventurers. So Calling All Adventurers is where you are adventuring, as adventurers do, and it's essentially a simultaneous action reveal game where you're picking 2 units, and one is sort of going out and adventuring, the other is staying at the camp, and basically based on what's happening, they trigger different abilities and are worth different points. One of my favorite games, like I think it's great, is Strife by Christopher Ham. Well, I just redid all that, but like, which is, again, it was this game where you're flipping, you're like, you both have the same set of cards, and you're revealing a card, and it has an ability and has a legacy ability that like it's all these abilities that are triggering to see who's going to win, and it's simple, but it's very you're just trying to kill each other. Like this Calling All Adventures is the same idea, right? It's very limited, sort of. Are they going to play this card, or are they going to play that card? Who should I play? Sort of that kind of feel to it. But it's it's a cute and approachable theme. I don't know. It wasn't clear to me if this artwork is original or found it. I mean, it's pretty strict. It's thematic to the game, so I assume probably original art. But like, absolutely adorable. Absolutely adorable. So appealing. And the gameplay's simple, and I like the theme, and everything about it. So it really stood out as I was going through them. And, for what it's worth, it's a print and play with black and white cards, which is nice. So it was great. There, again, I feel I definitely, you get to that point where you're like, I basically have to pick one from these 6 games I like. But it stood out, and I definitely recommend checking that out. So that is the 2021 design contest. Congratulations to all the winners. Again, I will reach out in the next couple days to get your information to send you your prize. And if you watched, I highly suggest checking it out. Okay, anyway, thanks. Bye. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.